I went to the Blue Ocean Film Festival and I saw the Save Lolita PSA. I was just blown away by this. I was so moved. I sort of froze. It was like, I don't know, just something came over me, because when I saw her story, it reminded me of my own and the parallels of being in captivity, what as my relatives were as slaves. And the song Amazing Grace was also playing throughout the video, which was written by a slave trader. And it just made the parallels and the connection that much stronger for me as an African-American woman sitting there watching this. And everyone knows about slavery and how horrendous that whole system is. And I think people need to understand just how horrendous it is to steal a baby orca from his mother or her mother and hold her in the equivalent of a bath tank for the rest of her life until she dies. It's a crime. Well, infant whales get separated from their families in two ways. One, when they're captured while they're living in the wild. And then if they are born in captivity, they're actually transferred to different parks. So they're separated from their families. And this is the same concept that was used during slavery for the African Americans. You had infants being born to their moms, and they were actually sold immediately to other plantations. So it's the same concept. The parallels are so striking. And this is why when I saw the film, I got so emotional. It was, I was tearing up. Orcas actually have a very strong family unit. They swim together. They live together. So the males, most of the males, not all of them, actually live their whole lives with their moms. I mean, they go off and mate. Their moms even find them a mate, and they actually come back home to mom. I mean, now here in America, I mean, you find a man who's still that close to his mom, it's not a good thing. But in the orca world, that's a good thing. So that's part of their nature. They're very family oriented. Well, a lot of people say that middle-class children don't have the money to go on a yacht to see the orcas in their native environment and habitat in the wild. So, you know, having them at parks where they can come to see them is a good thing, where they can experience them. And in one respect, it seems okay, but if you knew the history of how that animal, that mammal got to that park, it's an ugly history. So it's not a good thing. It's really not a good thing. And you know something? I mean, there's the Animal Planet. There are channels that you can watch where you can see animals in their natural habitat without actually extracting them from their natural habitat and mistreating them. Well, the Animal Welfare Act was enlisted to monitor and regulate orcas in captivity. And one of the things that they're supposed to regulate, the act is supposed to regulate, is tank size. The USDA is the governmental body that is supposed to oversee this. However, although Lolita is in a tank that is far under regulation standards, it's too small. She's basically in a bathtub. The USDA continues to grant a license every year for her to be maintained in this tank. So they're not even enforcing their own laws with this. Sometimes we rely too heavily on the government to do the right thing. And they don't, because if we recall, the government, the U.S. government, was actually complicit in the slave trade. I mean, slavery was legal here in the U.S. So here we have, again, the USDA, who's supposed to be protecting the rights of these orcas in captivity, and they're not doing it. It's a crime. It should be illegal. Well, actually, it is illegal, but they're not enforcing the laws. So here we go. Many people feel that at this point, if you let Lolita go, if you free her, she won't be able to fend for herself. You know, she'll just die in the wild because she's been held in captivity for so long. But the Orca Network actually has a retirement plan for her. And what it is, it involves her being placed in a bay, a 900-foot bay in Washington State. And she will be, for a time, fed by humans and cared for by humans and gradually reintroduced into into the wild and hopefully to be reunited with her family. It's sort of the same thing that they do for prisoners who have been in jail for many years. They actually place them in a halfway house. So it actually is a safe place for them to be reintegrated into society. They don't just shove them out the door. So it's the same concept. Although Lolita's free, honey. She hasn't done any wrong, honey. Okay? Yes. And if for any reason she doesn't learn how to fend for herself in the wild, and because she has been held in captivity for over 40 years, she'll just stay in that bay in Washington State and be cared for and fed by the humans. And it's a more humane environment for her than being kept in a bathtub, the equivalent of a bathtub. I mean, honey, even I'm a big girl. I need a big bathtub. So certainly Lolita needs one. Okay.
Yeah, I think press play.
Okay. I just saw the Pin Cove videos, which detail the capture of Lolita. And it's just so sad to see that. And I think everyone should see that. They should actually look on YouTube and see that video. It is so disgusting to see this family being torn apart by people coming into their natural habitat and stealing their infants, their babies, breaking up that family. I've had that done to my family in generations past through the slave trade. So just think about that. And it's all for money. Just as the slave trade was about the money. It's all about the money. They rounded up slaves with ropes, and they basically almost like the same dragnets. That's what they use in Africa to round up the slaves. It's sad, and I don't know who gives people like Don Goldsberry the right to go in and to break up a family. I mean, would you like it if someone came to your home, Don, and stole your family? I don't think so. So I don't know. We're supposed to be, humans are supposed to be the most evolved species. But, you know, animals only kill for food and for survival. We kill for profit. We kill for sport. We kill for fun. We kill because someone looks at us funny. So I wonder if we are the most evolved species. I would love to meet Lolita, but I do not want to go see her in captivity. I do not want to see her held against her will. I think that would be very painful. So I would love to see her go free in retirement, in that bay that they have for her in Washington State. And then I would love to see her. I think that would be great, because I think it would break my heart to see her in that tank, knowing what I know and knowing the similarities between our families. If I saw Lolita in the wild and swimming free after 44 years of being in captivity, I would say, you go, girl. You go, girl. You got this, honey. And you swim, and you don't ever let anybody take your freedom again, honey. You go, Lolita. You go, girl.